Sarah had always been surrounded by people who seemed to have it all together. Her childhood friends, schoolmates, and neighbors were living lives full of success. Some went on to prestigious universities, landing great jobs in bustling cities. Others started their own businesses and found success in the ever-changing market. Some had families, their homes filled with laughter and love, posting pictures of their celebrations on social media. In contrast, Sarah felt invisible. Her childhood was marked by failure. She couldn't finish school, constantly falling behind in classes. Her dreams of becoming an entrepreneur were crushed as her business ideas faltered one after another. Financial struggles were a constant source of stress, and every time she attended a wedding or a graduation, she couldn't help but feel a pang of jealousy. Why does everyone else seem to have it together? She would wonder, why does it feel like I'm the only one who's falling behind? As time went on, the weight of failure began to suffocate Sarah. The laughter and excitement of others only served as a painful reminder of her perceived shortcomings. She stopped going to social events, avoiding gatherings where she'd have to face people's well-meaning questions about her life. "What are you up to these days, Sarah?" they'd ask, and her heart would sink. She started questioning herself more and more. Why does everything I try fall apart? What's wrong with me? Her once vibrant and hopeful spirit was replaced with a quiet despair. At night, when the world was asleep, she cried herself to sleep, feeling utterly lost. It felt as if she was stuck in an endless loop of failure, while everyone else moved forward. One day, on a rare occasion when Sarah agreed to meet up with an old friend, she was surprised to hear that her friend, too, had faced many hardships. Her friend shared how they had struggled with unemployment, financial instability, and the weight of loneliness. But through it all, they had refused to give up. They had learned that life wasn't a race. It was a journey, and everyone had their own pace. "You see, Sarah," her friend said with a reassuring smile, "success doesn't come at the same time for everyone. My path wasn't easy, but I kept going one step at a time. Your time will come. It might not be today or even tomorrow, but that doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means you're on your own unique journey. And that's okay." This conversation stuck with Sarah. For the first time in a long while, she felt a flicker of hope. She realized that comparing herself to others had only led her to bitterness and despair. "Maybe I don't need to compete with anyone but myself," she thought. With renewed hope, Sarah decided to make a change. She started small. Instead of focusing on what she didn't have, she began working on what she could control. She picked up a new skill, one that had always interested her but which she had been too afraid to pursue. She signed up for an online course and began learning. It was challenging at first, but she embraced the learning process. Each small victory, mastering a concept, completing an assignment, reinvigorated her. Around this time, Sarah met a mentor named Clara, a successful entrepreneur who had once been in Sarah's shoes. Clara became a guiding light, offering practical advice and emotional support. She shared her own story of failure and resilience, reminding Sarah that setbacks were just stepping stones. "Failure isn't the opposite of success," Clara said. "It's part of the journey." Sarah also joined a local support group for aspiring entrepreneurs. There, she met others who were struggling just like her. They shared resources, encouraged one another, and celebrated small wins together. For the first time, Sarah felt like she belonged. Just as Sarah began to gain momentum, she faced a major setback. Her first business venture after her newfound determination failed spectacularly. She had poured her heart, time, and savings into it, only to watch it crumble. The failure hit her hard, and for a moment she considered giving up. But then she remembered Clara's words, "Failure is part of the journey." She also thought about the support group and how far she'd come. Instead of wallowing, Sarah decided to reflect on what went wrong. She journaled about her experience, identifying lessons she could carry forward. This shift in perspective, from seeing failure as a dead end to viewing it as a learning opportunity, marked a turning point in her growth. During this time, Sarah took up gardening as a way to cope with stress. She planted a small sapling in her backyard, nurturing it with care and patience. As the plant grew, so did Sarah. The sapling became a symbol of her journey, a reminder that growth takes time, effort, and resilience. On days when she felt discouraged, she would sit by the plant and remind herself, if this little tree can grow, so can I. Years passed, and Sarah's persistence paid off. She started a business, one that aligned with her newfound passion, and though it took time, the business grew steadily. She was no longer struggling to make ends meet, and for the first time, she felt truly proud of her achievements. Her journey had been long and filled with setbacks, but it had been hers. More importantly, Sarah had learned that success wasn't one size fits all. She had her own definition of success, one that didn't rely on external validation or comparison. Her personal growth, her ability to overcome hardship, and the joy of finally finding her place in the world were what mattered most. One day, Sarah received a message from a young woman named Mia, who was struggling with self-doubt and failure. Mia had read about Sarah's journey online and reached out for advice. Sarah invited Mia for coffee and shared her story, emphasizing the importance of resilience and self-compassion. She also introduced Mia to the support group that had been so instrumental in her own journey. Helping Mia reminded Sarah of how far she'd come. It also reinforced her belief that everyone's journey is unique and worth celebrating. At a community event, Sarah stood before a crowd and shared her story. "Success isn't a race," she said, her voice filled with conviction. "It's a journey, and your journey is just as valuable as anyone else's. Don't give up. Keep going, keep learning, and trust that your time will come." As she spoke, she glanced at the audience and saw Mia smiling back at her. In that moment, Sarah realized that her journey wasn't just about her own success. It was about inspiring others to keep going, too. In a world that constantly compares us to others, this story teaches that our individual paths are worth celebrating. Life is not about rushing to meet societal expectations, but about finding fulfillment on our own terms. Keep going, stay patient, and trust that success will come when the time is right. And remember, your journey, with all its ups and downs, is uniquely yours, and that's what makes it beautiful.